Hello everybody, welcome to Bitcoin Daily, 9 a.m. Central European time on the dollar. We do this show every day, Monday to Friday, because 9 a.m. because we gotta know what's happening in Bitcoin, altcoins, everything else. Not a lot of people in here, nobody in the chat because we are members only, so the green names are not present. Besides that, Bitcoin is looking nice, 0.34% in green, and it's not falling down below the support levels. So today I thought we might look at what's Bitcoin doing, because I'm kind of expecting to do something. A lot of people are bearish. A lot of people want to pull back. I've still seen a lot of people talking about the golden pocket, the 0.6118 Fibonacci levels, the Elliott waves, the volume profile, this and that. So they got reasons to believe that 46k, 47k is some kind of top. Even the blue box up here, 46, 47k, is some kind of top, right? But I always say, when you get to the resistance level, even though your theory was, it's gonna go up there and it's gonna pull back and it's gonna do that, this and that, always reassess how the price looks. And right now the price looks fine. So far so good. I mean, we are below the moving averages, and this does actually, in fact, I know I said it looks fine. It kind of looks fine, but it could drop down a little bit. I'm not bearish. And you can see up here, this over here, I don't know what to call this. Is this rising, some kind of rising channel over here? This last part, it could be a rising channel over here, which might actually be a bear flag, and bear flag goes something like this up here from this week all the way down to over there, and then from this week, whatever this is up here, something like 38.8 level down here. The target, if this is a bear flag, it should drop down to 38.8, 38 give or take. But there is a good reason why the 38 might actually be a very nice level, because if you go to the something like daily time frame up here, that is very close down to here to 37. So it goes a little bit something like this up here, 37, 38, the midline of this bigger channel. On the weekly time frame, you can see this nicer up here. So if it does pull back over here, over here is 38.8, but might overhit that and hit some kind of 38k levels on the midline over here, because this bigger channel that I've been watching, this bigger channel up here in the midline for that is around 38 point something, right? So it does look good. Sorry, it doesn't look that good if it's a bear flag, but I do not feel it's a bear flag though. It kind of yeah, sure, we can use the wicks up here at the top, but over here there is a there was a line up here. Where was the line up here? The line was something like this over here. There we go. You can see up here, we broke that above that line. The line is no longer in effect actually. So over here, the only thing it is a range. It is a range. Yes, there is nice line. So a line over here, and there is nice line over here, and it looks like a bear flag. But if this bear flags break above towards the upside up here, above what kind of level are we looking at over here? We are looking above something like the 50 moving average on the 4 hourly, 43.7. Let's see how this actually looks on daily time frame. Yeah, that's the level. You can see the 10 and 20 moving average right up here, 43.8 give or take. Let's say 43.8 right up there. That is the level that we need to get above, and you also see that we are gonna start getting above these major levels as well. So if the price actually for whatever reason comes above 38.7 sorry, 43.8, we are looking very, very good. On the other hand, I know that a lot of people are looking at the same level and are thinking that if you go towards the upside, then I'm gonna start shorting this, go towards down over here, and then bam, all the way down towards downside, right? So I know there will be a lot of shorting of 43.8, 44k levels up here. A lot of people are looking at these levels. I've noticed that there is definitely room for shorting up there. Unfortunately, I'm not that bearish. Over here, we did break, hit the 50 moving. We broke that. We tried to get up there, failed that, managed to get up there, right back down below that, and right now we are just zigzagging over here. But the price is, zigzagging. It's not actually that weak. It's not actually that weak. Yeah, it looks like a bear flag. It might actually go over here. It might fall down. And if you're looking just purely technicals, then maybe, just maybe, there might be a move down over here that might be a spring. Again, long term, this is very normal, and there is nothing that goes straight towards upside. So even if pull down over here towards the upside, we are still above, you know, 30k levels. We are still above, you know, 34k levels up here. We're still above these levels up here. I mean, the price is looking nice. Now the big question is, when it pulls back, how much are the altcoins gonna dump? Will we have, you know, those 10-20% dumps that my wife wants to buy? Because every time, you know, altcoins dump down 20%, she's like, maybe we should buy something. I think now it's time to buy. She knows, man, she knows. So I'll tell you next time my wife you know, tells me to buy, I'll tell you when we are hitting the rock bottom. But you know, the bear flag up here in the small time frames, it might be the case. And I'm not gonna be overly too bullish until we are above, you know, 43.8k levels up here. But I don't see that, you know, that fear that people are experiencing right now. Over here we had this, you know, this yellow box. We are still in yellow. We just zigzagging up here sideways. Yes, we tried to break up here, we tried to break up here, but we are still holding the support, major support level down here, and we are still not out of that box just yet. And over here you'll see this channel that we have, and we are still on the bottom of the channel. Let me just remove these two lines over here. We're still on the bottom of that channel up here. Hopefully this is a nice channel. We are still on the bottom of the channel, we're still in the box, and we are still haven't broken towards downside. We can see how these, you know, these moving averages are curving towards us up here. So unless we very soon start breaking this towards the upside, you know, the bear flag might play out and we might do this move down here. Now this will be what I would say, assume a capitulation event on the move, and once this capitulation went to move, I'm again looking towards the upside. Crypto Savvy is bearish, so we are bullish. Capo is bullish until 50, so maybe we're gonna have a pullback up here, and then when he turns bearish, we're gonna go towards the upside. I mean, that is a good case if we're gonna try to analyze the bears on the YouTube. But it looks okay, it looks okay. I mean, we're just consolidating up here, a top 10 moving average up here, and again, if you look at the consolidation up here on the chart, if you look at the pullback towards downside, there is no reason why we cannot pump over here. Yes, it does look like it's on the verge of the breakdown, but I gotta tell you guys, previously over here, when you know, when it's on the verge, where is the 14th October over here? 14th October was right over here. If you remember that we looked at the date, 14th October was supposed to be a dump date. 14th October was supposed to be a dump date. And I said, unless this actually falls down over here right now, it's not gonna fall down. And when it came down here and it was starting doing this move over here, you know, even down here, I was thinking like, oh my God, it's over right now. It's just gonna drop down. But every time I think, oh, it's over now, it's gonna drop now, it is the support that actually holds it and it pumps towards the upside again, right? Down over here, I also became very bearish right over here at the bottom when it started dropping towards downside, and also on this move towards downside over here, I thought it's gonna continue going towards downside. Every time I get this fear that, you know, for whatever reason we are gonna drop down, it's over. But as long as we are on support, we pump from those levels, right? So the market can sense the fear. And market right now, I think, is sensing the fear because everybody right now thinks this is gonna go down. I'm not saying it's not gonna go down, but if it wants to pump, it is time to pump. Okay, it's waiting for something. I don't know, maybe some numbers, maybe somebody else, maybe they're you know, waiting to buy. Maybe they're waiting for Grayscale to come out and say they stopped selling or whatever. I've heard you know, the talks that the reason that we are dumping is because Grayscale is selling, so you know, people can, you know, switch to these ETFs and stuff like that. I don't know how much truth there isn't into that, but there is always some kind of FUD, always some kind of reason for why the price goes up, why the price goes down. You know, always this exchange, that exchange is selling, buying, this and that. So we're just trying to figure out based on the price, where are we gonna go up. So we are on the support level. I cannot say that we are gonna dump towards downside, even though it does look a little bit, you know, bearish over here. If this a bear flag that's gonna pull down. Beside that bear flag, you know, technically right now I think the consolidation is done, because over here we had a, you know, huge consolidation. We tried to pump over here once, tried to pump 2 times, broke down over here on the support level. So if it wants to pump, there is consolidation is done. I mean, the 4 hour is right now sitting at 50 levels. The daily up here RSI sitting at 50 levels. The weekly up here is pulling back down to 68 levels. So weekly can pull down actually a little bit more. So we're gonna see that. But you know, if this is the bull market up here, let me go up here over here where we started up here. You'll see after the coronal dump up here, we didn't go below. We didn't go below the 50 level over here. So we had this first move up here. Let me just zoom in a little bit more over here. So we had this, you know, after Corona dump up here, I was actually thinking this move, I'm saying it all the time, I was actually thinking this move was actually the move that actually is gonna, you know, pump us again towards the highs. But after the Corona dump up here, we had this, you know, first initial move that we, you know, pump big time, got a, and then we pull back hard, and then we pull back to the 50 moving average, you can see hard, and then we got support on the debt, and that continued towards the upside. I don't think this weekly time frame, because the weekly time frame doesn't have enough time to pull back again to some kind of zero levels. So if we do pull back on the weekly time frame, I'm looking at this 50 level, right? So right now we are sitting at 60 level. We don't have to do this move. We can just do this move over here, and you know, just, I mean, this will still continue pumping the price towards the upside, right? Over here. So you don't have to retest the 50 level. Once you're in some kind of very bullish market, I mean, you don't have to retest those levels. Let me go a little bit back. Can you find it over here? We cannot find it over here, but you know, you can continue pumping, you know, on tops up here. You can see up here, ever since up here towards up here, I mean, you have been above 70 levels, right? So once you start pumping, there is no going back to the 50 levels. If you get 50 levels on the RSI, I mean, those are, you know, what are you gonna call it? You know, generational buy levels right now, because you know, generational buy levels were at 15 and 20k down here, you know, when the RSI was down at 26 on the weekly time frame. But there is no way we're getting 26 on the RSI right now. I mean, 50 is the best we can hope for, because we are already out of this zone over here. We already, you know, pulled back once the 40 levels right now broke that. I'm gonna retest again. I mean, we did retest over here, right, 50 levels, and then we retest over here again 50 levels. And right now, you know, can we pull down? Technically we can, but I don't see why we should be doing that, because everybody wants to buy in. Again, if we come back to the theory, you know, psychological analysis, everybody wants to buy back in. And if everybody wants to buy back in, then, you know, we're not pulling back. So I know I won't pull back because I want altcoins to crash so I can buy cheap. I know other people wants to buy cheap. And I'm a little bit unsure where we're gonna get the opportunity to buy cheap. So over here, where we have, you know, right now max doubt, you know, max fear that, you know, it's over 16k level right now, it's gonna do this and drop down, blah blah blah, you know, maybe that is the fear that we need to buy. On the other hand, if it does drop down over here, you might see RSI go down to, you know, weekly RSI go down to the 50 levels over here towards downside, and that might be, you know, very nice place to buy. Raphael in the chat wants to buy 38.40 levels up here, 38 to 40k levels. He said, I mean, that is a pretty reasonable thing to do, and we talked about, you know, that the reason for going down there, it might be, you know, that we want to, where is the chart? That we want to get into this liquidity zone between 30 and 40k, because there is liquidity down there, definitely, right? On the other hand, liquidity doesn't always get picked up, right? Oftentimes you will have liquidity levels below certain levels, and those never get picked up. Like over here, there was a liquidity level below that got picked up, and over here there was create another liquidity level, but this liquidity level got never picked up, right? Over here we created a liquidity level below these levels over here, and we got you know, and we picked that up with this move up here. There was liquidity over here, down here below these levels over here. We picked that up on the move. Then over here we also create a liquidity levels over here in the box below. Let me just make the box up here. We picked up that over here, and then with this move down here we picked up everything. But you can see up here that, you know, these liquidity levels down here, they never got picked up, right? So this liquidity level never got picked up. This was picked up over here, right? So some liquidity levels never get picked up. Over here there was create a lot of liquidity below these levels over here. and these levels never got picked up, right? And right now we are creating these liquidity levels right below over here. Now the big question is are these liquidity levels going to get picked up or in the box over here, or are they going to be like, you know, just like some of these liquidity levels that never got picked up? Because you have definitely moves that do not pick up the liquidity, and that is very, very normal, especially in the bull markets, right? You cannot pick liquidity every single time. That just does not happen. At one point there will be some liquidity that doesn't get picked up. Over here there was there was a lot of liquidity right below us over here, and that never got picked up. Then we pulled back up here, there was liquidity over here, and that got picked up, but there was a new liquidity that was created here that didn't get picked up, and both of these got never picked up. So if you bought something like at 8-9k over here, or even up here at 10k, this level, you would have been fine in both cases, because this move over here would not come low enough to pick up this liquidity, and this move over here and never came down below 10k to pick up that. So in either case, there is always a time where there is liquidity somewhere on the chart, but it does not get picked up. So over here, even though we could go back down here and pick up that liquidity just like we did a lot of times before, it does not have to happen, right? And we can tell right now for like a pretty big fact that this liquidity over here below 15k is not gonna get picked up. It's not gonna be, I mean, something really crazy needs to happen for that liquidity to get picked up, but we are not quite there yet. We are not quite there yet. So analyzing the a little bit on liquidity, a little bit where the max pain is, and the max pain is still towards upside, I think, over here. Because if you go towards upside, number one, everybody shorting needs to close their position, so you get a short squeeze. On the other hand, everybody waiting for this dump towards downside, I have to FOMO back in, and everybody else, once they start seeing it, you might even start seeing retail starting buying towards upside, right? So this might actually just go towards upside. So although analyzing some kind of where the max pain is definitely towards upside. I don't see any kind of pain towards downside. I mean, nobody cares if the price drop. Do you care if the price drop? Are you afraid Bitcoin is gonna go down to zero? Are you afraid this is some kind of top? No, you're not. Let's be honest. The halving is coming. The ETFs are here, so people are still afraid of the ETFs. Now we have been saying that that ETFs is gonna be the dump date, and now that the ETFs are here, we have to reanalyze the chart and ask ourselves whether that's the fact or not. And from what we can see, we don't have any kind of big dumps just yet, right? So assuming that to be in fear because of ETFs is not the way to go, assuming that we are on some kind of local top where we need to pull back 30, 40, 50% towards downside for whatever reason, because we hit some kind of Fibonacci level or some kind of volume profile level, some kind of box that we have on the chart, does not have to be the case. We don't have to do that. In the bull markets, I think that's the biggest problem that people do in the bull markets, that they underestimate how bullish the price is. So any kind of pullback just continues pumping, and then you have these pullbacks up here, but they are a little bit unexpected, and they don't come after big ass consolidations. I think they don't come after big ass consolidation. You have consolidation and just continue pumping, consolidation and just continue pumping, but you don't have these big ass pullbacks, people are still, I think, afraid of the pullbacks, but nobody is afraid in case that it's gonna go towards downside. Maybe they're afraid that altcoins are gonna continue dumping a little bit and stuff like that, but I don't think anybody is really afraid of the pullback. Even if it goes down to imagine Bitcoin going down to 30k. Won't you buy 30k Bitcoin right now when you see it's at 46 and it goes up 30k? Like, you would buy that, because the ETFs are already here, so there is nothing to fear about that, especially after it doesn't dump down. Number two, we got a halving in a couple of months. Guys, it's going so fast. 17 April is the halving, so we got like 3 months left. January, February, March, April. Yeah, 3 months left. 3 months left because 15. 3 months left until the halving, and it's up only from that. It's up only from there, guys, and it is getting very, very close. And I'm starting to believe, as because this is just taking way too long to dump towards downside. I'm starting to believe very, very strongly that this next move before the halving, and the halving is over here, March, April. 17 right over there. I think we're gonna hit 60k before the halving, guys. I think that is my case. I don't, you know, if you dump down, I was wrong. I'm gonna say I was wrong if you dump towards downside, but I think we're gonna hit 60k or something like this, you know, 58k, 58 to 60k. I think we're gonna hit that before the halving, then maybe have some kind of major dump if the major dump is gonna happen, and then continue towards upside. But over here, pulling back right now, letting people buy the 30k Bitcoin, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's the case, guys. I don't know if that's the case. The ETH BTC chart is still looking nice. There is a channel, there's a falling wedge up here. We came right up here towards upside. So Ethereum is still outperforming Bitcoin. On daily time frame, you can see up here just zigzagging. You know, some days is a little bit down, some days a little bit up, but you know, it's mostly zigzagging. And this will actually break towards upside. So right now we are getting pretty much bullish on Ethereum, because the falling wedge up here is back inside the falling wedge after a box. We like the boxes. It's out of the box. It is a falling wedge, and right now it is time to break this towards upside. Once this breaks towards upside, I think altcoins are also gonna, you know, start exploding towards upside. Everything is gonna start going. It's gonna, I mean, you don't think that, you know, you might think that 3 months is a long time. It's not. It goes very, very fast, guys. 3 months is gonna go like this, and once it's done, I mean, everything is just gonna go. Everything is just gonna go big time. Previous halving. But let me look at. Can we put the halvings up here? Halvings up here. Events. Let me see up here. Halving events. So what you're gonna see here is that before the halving, we started climbing towards upside, right? Ethereum was dying versus Bitcoin before that, but before the halving in September, October, November, December, this was also April halving, and May, April, give or take. So we are right now like over here when it comes to halving, right? So if you look at the chart over here, this is January up here, right? February, January up here. So we are something up here. I mean, it is just up only. After halving, it just goes faster and faster towards upside. So Ethereum and altcoins are gonna outperform Bitcoin very, very soon, and that is gonna be very, very fast. But you know, the halving is coming very, very soon, and it's not gonna take so long time. Now, if you look at the Ethereum up here, Ethereum is just consolidating up here at the top. It doesn't have that big of moves. Up here on daily time frame, we are at 58 RSI. On the weekly time frame, we are pulling up here to 70 levels. You know, these are double 70 levels on RSI, but nothing you know, nothing overly, or you know, as like 92 levels up here at top. You can see up here, even when you hit these you know, these 94 levels, that's up here, right? You hit 94 levels, it still continues climbing. Why does it continue climbing when you're 94 levels? Because you're in a bull market. So the RSI, do not look at RSI and think that for whatever reason the RSI is gonna tell you that you know, you need pull back to 50. No, in bull market it goes even if it's 90 levels. Look here, it was 90 level here, and it was pulling back, but it was pulling back, you know, for a long time, right? Over here, what you're gonna see also on the MACD is that the momentum up here after this move towards upside is again, you know, starting to climb towards the upside. So even we had this momentum loss up here during this consolidation part, and right now the momentum is again going towards upside. And the same thing is happening on Bitcoin as well. We have the momentum loss over here during consolidation, and right now if it starts continuing going towards upside, this momentum will just turn around and the RSI will continue climbing towards upside. So like I said, there is definitely, you know, no reason why we cannot just, you know, pump over here above the resistance level, because however you twist and turn it around, the retail is not here yet. People, you know, still want to buy cheap Bitcoin and altcoins, and they're waiting for pullback. And if this last move comes in, everybody is gonna be definitely destroyed. So first move up here, nobody bought. Second move, nobody bought. Third move, nobody bought. Fourth move, nobody bought. Everybody, after that move, everybody was like, you know what, I'm gonna buy. And then it did this move up here, and now it's gonna drop down, it's gonna drop down, it's gonna drop down, it's gonna drop down. Then this move up here, right now they're too afraid to buy up here. When it started going towards upside up here, there was too much liquidity, and then, you know, that some of that liquidity and the FOMO got picked up. Now they're still, you know, hoping it's gonna dump down over here so they can buy. But what if it doesn't? What if it just goes like this over here? I mean, it is the kind of best case scenario for bull market to just go towards upside here, because you leave so many people behind. And it's very important to leave people behind, because when you leave those people behind, at one point they will have to FOMO in eventually at some point up here, right? And the longer you keep those people behind in the market, the longer it takes for them to FOMO in. And the longer it takes for them to FOMO in, then you have this last move up here at the top, right? So I think right now we can definitely go up to over here to 60k and then pull back. And then pull back or do something else, right? And then everybody thinks everything is overbought. The RSI is at 90 levels, the MACD is losing blah blah blah. Again at 60k levels, then we pump again. So you pump because the indicators are actually not that, these indicators work very well. These indicators work very well if you are in the bear market, right? You pump, you come to the resistance, you pull back. You pump, you come to resistance, you pull back. You pump, you come to resistance, you pull back up here, right? Again towards downside. I mean, indicators work where, bearish. If you're looking for bearishness, you gotta look for bearishness in the bear market. If you're looking for bullishness, I mean, it is just inverted chart, but every pullback is a buy opportunity. Every pullback is a buy opportunity, right? So we are looking for that. So Ethereum looks nice. It is coming to some resistance up here, but I think if Bitcoin goes to 60k, Ethereum goes to something like 3.2 to 3.4k up here towards upside, and that looks very, very nice. The DXY is breaking down over here, but these are two small time frames for DXY. These are weekly time frame. Let's go to the monthly time frame up here. These are halvings. We're just gonna remove the halvings up here, and that's this thing over here. And we're gonna go even larger time frames on the other side, 12 months up here, and we're gonna pop some moving averages on the chart. And this chart doesn't look that bad though. In case of the DXY, you can see the DXY on the weekly time frame is crossing the 0 level. So the dollar index, I think, is gonna continue towards the upside over here. I think the dollar index is gonna continue towards the upside. There might be a very nice line over here, give or take. Something like this up here towards the upside. This was a midline, but I think this time this midline might actually break and the dollar might actually explode towards the upside, because it does look, to 150, something like that. I mean, that's gonna be insane, because if you look at a chart on the yearly time frame up here, this goes back from 2009, from these bottoms over here. It's climbing up here, so it might take a lot of years to get up there, but eventually I think it's gonna get to 150 levels previous stop over here, because these stops up here have played out nicely so far. But as you can see up here, there is no divergence on the chart or anything like that. The momentum is still consolidating over here. During consolidation phase, the momentum went a little bit down. Right now momentum is increasing again towards upside. Not only that, the MACD on the yearly time frame is crossing again towards upside. There is no overbought levels, so the dollar index looks like it's gonna explode towards upside. What does that tells us? Well, to us it tells us that once Bitcoin is done pumping and we go to the moon and 2024 2025 bull market tops out, being in dollars is going to be very nice for everybody. And once this big move starts happening towards upside, I think the market might also crash a little bit and stuff like that, right? Because these are yearly time frames, so this year it might maybe consolidate up here a little bit, up here again, maybe it's gonna go over here again, and then maybe it might start going towards upside, right? The big move. So how you cannot say that this is just gonna go straight this year towards upside, but this is 2024, so maybe in 2025 maybe it pulls out a little bit more, maybe it does this up here, maybe it does pull back first before it does move towards upside. I mean, there's a whole bunch of ways this can actually play out, but I think in the long term, like next 5 years or something like that. Where is the next 5 years up here? The next 5 years up here for dollar index, I think the dollar is gonna outperform a bunch of stuff, and I think it just might be a very good thing to be in dollar eventually. Even though we talk about dollar fiat, it's dying, it's it's basically printing money. Once everybody buys Bitcoin at the top and Bitcoin starts crashing towards downside, while dollar goes towards the upside over here, it's gonna be a good thing to be in dollars and not Bitcoin, I think, after bull market, right? The S&P 500 up here is still pumping towards the upside. and I'm a little bit unsure whether it's done or not. So if you go on the weekly time frame up here, this is S&P 500. It is hitting this resistance up here at the top and it's climbing very steadily, but just consolidating up here. Now, if you look at a bigger time frames over here, this doesn't look like it's at top. I mean, there is huge, big as huge divergence up here on the chart, and we don't have enough data. Do we have another chart with a lot of data up here? So over here we do have the first divergence on the yearly chart on the Dow Jones. We also have the consolidation up here. This over here zigzag is, you can see momentum going towards downside. The divergence is actually happening, but if this for whatever reason just continues up here pumping towards upside, this will be corrected because it can just continue pumping towards upside. It's just intermediate divergence, so nothing is set in stone just yet, but it might be some kind of scary. But will this continue pumping right now? I don't know. Over here the Dow Jones has already broken the all-time high, came to 37.8 levels. And where is the channel up here? I think it goes something like this up here if I'm not mistaken. It's broken out of the channel as well. It looks nice here at the top. It looks like it might just consolidate up here before it goes even higher. The same thing goes for this move up here. This looks like consolidation, even though it might actually pull back a little, but it looks like consolidation to me over here. I don't see, very clear top. A clear top to me would be something like this that pulls back or something like that, because this kind of, curvature top up here should pull straight towards downside up here, but they're kind of not. And there is a very good reason why this can actually continue, because you can see these bullish candles up here. I would assume that there should be no bullish candles over here. After this big dump, there should be no bullish candles over here, but this is bullish candle, so it is pulling back a little bit. But I think that there is more room towards the upside. This thing is also above all-time high. Nasdaq is also above all-time high over here. I think, what is it line? All-time high, week up, all-time high up here, just holding, which is actually very, very nice. We can squeeze this a little bit. Let's go to 6 months chart. Yeah, there is big ass divergence up here on the chart. So I think, even though I think that it has a more room towards the upside, I think it might be, very closing to another pull, a bigger pull towards the downside. But that might come in 2020, end of 2024, 25. So we are getting very, very close. So if he does another move up here, pulls back a little bit, there will still be the divergence. The momentum up here, even though it is climbing again towards the upside, might actually pull a big back, because you just saw that DXY, like next 5 years, I think it's gonna do big moves. Okay, let's check out Gala, because Vilus in the chat want me to check out Gala. So we're gonna do this on the weekly time frame up here. What do I think about Gala? You have this, consolidation phase down here. I think it's pretty obvious where the lines are. Something like this over here. It should go down there. Let's put it overextension. There we go. I think the channel goes something like this up here, give or take. I think the channel goes something like this, even with this move towards downside, because I think if you double that, it goes down to the midline up here, to, third part over here. And it is accumulation inside the descending move over here. So it's been descending for a long time, so eventually it will break up. But right now the breakup up here comes above 0.35 cents where your average is. So once it breaks out of the channel, you're gonna be fine. And eventually it will. There is no such thing like, the bull market, Bitcoin happened, but everything else will just do this move up here. I don't believe that. It can happen, but I don't believe that, number one. And, we have to believe in something, because if you don't believe in anything, like, what do we believe in, right? Let's go to the higher time frames up here. Look at a monthly time frame. You'll see up here that we hit this 10 moving average, this white line, and been zigzagging down there. Then we went and retest these levels up here. Right now we're hitting these levels again, so we are pulling from the 20 moving average, but eventually these levels will be broken, right? I would say that this part down here, I mean, that's still accumulation zone for whatever, and we are just waiting. And I always say, once something is in channel, right, once something is a channel, either it's a downtrending channel or uptrending channel, any kind of channel, it is really hard to figure out when this is actually gonna break towards the other side, right? It's really hard to figure because this channel can actually go for a very, very long time. And like over here it goes, it might break, it might break, it might not break, it might break, might not break, it might break, you know, it might go for a very long time until it actually breaks towards the one or other side. And we do draw the lines and stuff like that, but sometimes, you know, even the lines cannot help you to figure out where the breakout's gonna be. Now this, you know, it did what it should do. You know, Bitcoin capitulation went down, start to bleed over here big time, pump back to the resistance level, create this nice channel up here, pull back to the channel so everybody knows that's bottom up here, went up here, doubled the bottom down here on the bottom side, right now pulling back above this resistance level up here towards the top of the channel. So I think it's just getting ready to break towards the upside. Over here on the weekly time frame there is some kind of doji up here, and it is on the weekly time frame is actually looking very, very nice because it is holding this 20 moving average down here, right? So this is the last moving average down here. If it breaks, then it breaks below the moving averages, but at one point it needs to start breaking above the moving averages. So let's go a little bit back up here. Monthly time frame it is on the resistance, but on the weekly time frame it is sitting down here on the 20 moving average, and it is about time, you know, to start holding these moving averages and continue towards the upside up here, because eventually it will do that. Let's go in daily time frame just to look at this consolidation part up here. I mean, it's just consolidating. You can see up here that the trend is actually broken, and people would assume, oh, trend is broken, it's going to go down. Over here, the trend broken, retest up here, broke the support level, dumped down over here. Right now, I think it's just in the box over here, consolidating before it goes up here again. I don't believe in anything, any big dumps. Like if Bitcoin dump, this might actually go towards downside up here, but I think that will be again another spring towards upside or another box down here again for move towards upside. But overall, I think everything is going to go towards upside very, very soon. I cannot be bearish, guys. I cannot tell you that stuff is going to go down, you're going to get buy cheap. We are so close to the halving, and you know, our entire TA analysis is based on the halving. So once halving hits, you know, everything to the moon. Until then, we gotta wait and see. But I don't know. Is this a bear flag, guys? What do you say? I don't know. Is this a bear flag over here, guys? Is this a bear flag that's gonna dump us down to magic levels where everybody gets to buy 38k Bitcoin? I don't know. But anyways, guys, thank you for 17 likes. 25 people watching right now, but you know, there has been give or take 100 people watching. Nobody's been speaking in the chat because there are not enough TFN Club members, but you know, that's the way it goes. So remember, if you become TFN Club member, you can actually chat with me 101. Guys, enjoy the day. I also want to look at gold, but I didn't actually figure out anything when it comes to gold. I really don't know. Like there is 1, 2, 3, 4 tops up here on gold at around 2k levels, and I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know. This doesn't look that bad. I mean, technically it can continue, you know, going towards upside, but there is a little bit momentum loss over here. So will gold also dump down after 2025 up here? Maybe just waiting for 2025. If Bitcoin tops out in 2025, if gold starts dumping over here in 2025, if you know, the markets crash after 2025, 26, right? I mean, and DXY is gonna pump in the next 5 years. I'm telling you that. I think, you know, by looking at my analysis, I think the DXY is gonna pump big time. From you know, until 2030 or something like that. And I think that, you know, everything is setting up to, you know, crash at the same time. A little bit doomsday, you know, talk, but no, don't be worried, guys. If you have Bitcoin, you're gonna be fine. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hit the like button on the way out as well, and I'll see you in another video. Bye bye. Outro.